You ever wake up and just know deep down the world's about to pick a fight with you? That was me the day I spotted that hideous orange spray paint all over my lawn. Right there, plain as day, as if someone had decided my grass was some sort of public sidewalk. I'm talking thick, jagged lines 3 feet into my property, glowing like road flares. And where did they lead? Right to the empty lot next door. And there she was, Cynthia Templeton herself, HOA president, self-declared queen of the block, caramel latte in one hand, clipboard in the other, acting like she was conducting the New York Philharmonic instead of two bored contractors. Honestly, the way she barked orders, you'd think she owned the sun. So I called out, trying to sound friendly, but you know how it goes. "Hey, Cynthia. What's with the new Picasso on my yard?" She turned around in slow motion like I'd just ruined a church service. "Victor Ramsey," she said, and I swear you could hear her teeth grinding on my name. "We had the property surveyed. These lines are accurate. The board approved the new community clubhouse. It'll be a beautiful addition to our neighborhood." She didn't even blink. I laughed. "You're building a clubhouse here on my land." She flashed me the tightest, fakest smile. Classic. Karen then rattled off. "According to our records, this corner belongs to the association. You might want to check your deed again." See, I didn't need to check anything. I'd bought this place 5 years ago. Kept every paper, every survey, every faded tax bill like my own personal holy scripture. That corner mine. Always had been. "If you build anything here, Cynthia, it's trespassing." She didn't budge, just pursed her lips. "Well, if that's how you feel, take it up with the board." So that's what I did. Showed up at the HOA meeting with a fat folder under my arm, laid out every last document on the table from the original plat map to the ink stamp survey. "Move forward and I'll see you in court." Cynthia barely glanced down. "Victor, your documents are outdated. The HOA claims the land now. Fundings and permits approved. Construction starts next week." I looked around, but nobody would meet my eye. Board members just studied their shoes, acting like Cynthia was holding them hostage. Maybe she was. Now I'm stubborn, not stupid. Hired my own surveyor. 3 days later, got a crisp new report. Still my property, no question. Sent Cynthia a certified letter attached. The survey kept the receipt, even set up a camera pointing at that patch of grass. Good thing, too, because a week later, I rolled up to find bulldozers on my lawn concrete getting poured like it was a backyard barbecue. Half the crew didn't even speak English, and the foreman just shrugged, "No permit, no problem." I called the cops. They showed up, looked sympathetic, but without a court order, their hands were tied. That's when I knew this was war. By Saturday, my place looked like a reality show: rebar, cinder blocks, scaffolding, and a parade of strangers stomping all over my land. And not a soul cared except me. I watched from the edge, arms crossed, lips tight, while my camera quietly recorded every last trespass. Cynthia. She was betting on one thing: that nobody would stop her. So I called Darren. My cousin's husband, property attorney, owed me a favor. He showed up in a wrinkled suit, sneakers, and a duffel full of legal pads. "They're counting on you to give up." He grinned. "But you're not, are you?" We spent 6 hours drafting a cease and desist survey report, video footage, deed title, the works. Darren filed it Monday County Clerk, hand-delivered copy to the HOA. 48 hours later, got a letter from their lawyers, slick Fort Lauderdale outfit full of jargon about easement reinterpretation. Darren just laughed, highlighted half of it, called their bluff. "They're stalling. They'll drag this out until the concrete sets, then claim it's too expensive to remove." So I dug deeper. Marched down to City Hall, filed a Freedom of Information request for the building permits. After 3 hours and a vending machine sandwich, the clerk handed me a stack of papers. Turns out the HOA filed the permit for the lot next door, the one they actually owned. But their construction crew, they'd started on mine. Took photos, sent them to Darren, and sprinted straight to the zoning office. The woman behind the desk didn't even blink, just glanced at my documents, then picked up the phone. By sunset, there was a bright red "Stop Work" sticker on my yard, and the crew was packing up like the circus just skipped town. But Cynthia, oh, she wasn't finished. She turned up at my door next morning, sunglasses big enough to block out the truth. "You went to the city," she accused, voice dripping with fake concern. "You built on my land," I shot back. "You filed for the wrong parcel, trespassed, poured a foundation you don't own. That's not a mistake, it's fraud." Her smile cracked, just a hair. "You're making enemies, Victor. People are talking." I just laughed. Let 'em talk. "I've got the law, the land, and 3 days' worth of camera footage. What do you have?" She left in a hurry, scarf fluttering. Darren filed for an injunction, judge granted it on the spot. HOA barred from stepping foot on my property. I swapped my single camera for 4 real ones, not the plastic dome Cynthia used to hang. By Friday, the construction crew was history, but the gossip had just begun. Neighbors wanted answers. I just handed out public records, let the facts do the talking. Come court day, half the neighborhood was in my corner. But the bomb dropped when Darren subpoenaed the HOA's internal emails buried in a thread from Cynthia. "If we start early on Ramsey's lot, the city won't notice until we're too far along. He'll fold." The judge didn't buy a word of Cynthia's excuses. HOA was ordered to remove the foundation, restore my yard, and pay every penny of my legal bills. Then the city's building department got involved, opened a criminal investigation. Cynthia charged with falsifying documents and misuse of funds. She was marched out of the next meeting by a city official in front of everyone. The clubhouse never got built. A month later, I watched the last debris get hauled off my lawn. Darren sipped his iced tea, grinned. "You own the most expensive dirt in the county." I grinned right back, and I plan on keeping it that way. The HOA tried to spin it in their newsletter, but nobody bought it. Half the board quit, the rest were voted out. Cynthia sold her place at a loss, moved away before her sentencing. Her house went to a couple with pit bulls and a serious allergy to HOA nonsense. You'd think that'd be the end of it, right? Wrong. Darren called me to his office one Tuesday, court-ordered disclosure from the HOA's treasurer in hand. What we found wasn't just sloppy accounting, it was a blueprint for embezzlement. Cynthia had funneled over 30 grand from reserve funds supposed to be for roofs, sidewalks, sewers, straight into the clubhouse project. No vote, no approval, nothing. And the kicker, she'd rigged a proxy vote using a shell company under her nephew's name to swing the bylaw amendments. Emails, transaction logs, signed memos. Darren turned it all over to the prosecutor. News crews were at my door by Friday. I stuck to the facts. But the fallout was instant emergency meetings, standing room only. The remaining board confessed funds gone, audit coming, criminal investigation underway. People gasped, somebody even whistled. When I spoke up, I told the truth. "I just wanted my land back," I said. But once I saw what they were hiding, I couldn't walk away. Evelyn, my neighbor, the retired nurse with the rescue beagle, stood up. "Victor saved us. If he hadn't fought back, they'd have drained us dry." Someone else chimed in. "He did what the board should have done. He told the truth." Suddenly, folks were done being angry. They wanted change. Within days, recall petitions flew around. Every board member left, volunteers took over. They offered me a seat. I declined. I had fought my war. I wanted peace. But it wasn't quite over. County Prosecutor Marisol Orga called me to testify before the grand jury, every file, video, and email laid out. Cynthia was indicted on 6 felony counts. Her nephew and 2 board members joined her in the hot seat. She tried to play victim, but the evidence buried her 4 years eligible for parole after 2. The association was audited. Again, turns out there were kickbacks, inflated contracts, even a fake landscaping company run by Cynthia's brother-in-law. The reforms were fast and real, proxy voting. Gone all big decisions put to a vote meeting, minutes made public. The HOA finally started acting like it was supposed to, a support system, not a shakedown. My land was restored, grass reseeded, fence, put up little sign on the edge. Private property, no exceptions. No one ever questioned it again. I spent months helping neighbors navigate the new rules. I never ran for the board, but I shared everything, how I fought back the steps we took, what worked, what didn't. People listened. They were tired of being pushed around, tired of mistaking fear for order. One evening, watering my yard, Evelyn stopped by with Waffles, her beagle. "Feels different now, huh?" she asked son hat askew. "Quieter," I said. "In a good way." She invited me to help with the new community garden, something peaceful, no lawyers required. I laughed, said I'd had enough digging for a lifetime. As she walked away, she called back, "You know, Victor, Cynthia never realized who she was messing with. She thought you were alone." And that stuck with me because that's what people like her count on: silence, apathy, everyone else just rolling over. But when someone stands up, it spreads. Truth's got roots. You can't see, but they're strong. A week after Cynthia's sentencing, a manila envelope showed up at my door. No return address, just "follow up" in red ink. Inside, invoices, 2 flash drives, and a note. These weren't in the audit, see for yourself. One flash drive was encrypted, the other, well, it held receipts from fancy restaurants, golf resorts, and hotel stays, all under the HOA's dime. 2 names jumped out: Doug Halpern and Monica Ray's consultants I'd seen shadowing Cynthia. Called Darren, he brought a second lawyer and a district attorney. Turns out these 2 were funneling money through a shell company, bribing the city inspector who'd rubber-stamped the illegal permit. More warrants, more arrests. Ripples spread to 3 more neighborhoods where Northwind's development had been pulling the same scam. But here the land was clean. The foundation was gone, fence rebuilt, sunflowers growing by the rosemary bed. Kids played football where the clubhouse was supposed to stand. The new board drafted a simple, enforceable charter: open votes, no secret meetings, every resident with a voice. I stuck around, helped review contracts, kept everything transparent. One night I got a box from the county clerk inside a deed transfer with the court seal, permanent title, "No future claims." I framed it not for pride, but as a warning, a reminder of what happens when you let power run wild and how fragile trust really is. Evelyn stopped by with tomatoes from the community garden, raised an eyebrow at the frame. "Just in case they forget," I said. She smiled. "They won't, not after this." And they didn't. The HOA meetings became something people actually looked forward to. No more backroom deals, no more fear. Neighbors would nod at me as they passed, eyes lingering on the fence, remembering the mess, the fight, and the fact that sometimes all it takes to topple a little kingdom of lies is one stubborn homeowner with a camera and a little bit of backbone. Funny, isn't it, how deep the roots of the truth go, and how easy it is to forget that until someone comes along and digs them up. So what do you think? When does standing up become your responsibility? When it's your land, your money, your trust on the line? Or does it take someone else's fight to wake you up? I'm curious. Drop your own story, your own take. Tell me, where do you draw the line? And if you want more stories of everyday folks holding the line, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hey, stick around. You never know when your turn's coming.